What's up, you guys? My name is Michael Edior. I go by Cuts by Mikey on Instagram, and this is the barber behind the chair.
All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice.
What's up, you guys? My name is Michael Edior. I go by Cuts by Mikey on Instagram, and this is the barber behind the chair. What cutting hair means to me as a barber is being able to give a person that confidence. Once you get a haircut, you feel like yourself again. When you look good, you feel good. And when you feel good, you could get anything you want done. The legacy I want to leave behind as a barber is just showing the youth that anything is possible. No dream is too small, no dream is too big. If you want it, you gotta go for it. Stop talking about it, be about it. You have to want it yourself. No one's gonna want your dream like how you want it. You gotta do it for the passion, not for the money, because the money comes along the way. You gotta have patience and have fun with it. It's a marathon. What separates me from other barbers is really, I would say, the hospitality that I try to give out. You know, a lot of times people go to barbers, they just cut their hair and be quiet the whole time. If a client wants that, I'll give them that. But when you're sitting in my chair, I want to give you that experience that you never felt before. So whether that's listening to you with stuff that you're going through, giving you advice with whatever you got problems with, or just even just being a listening ear. Because a lot of times what I try to focus on is men's mental health. Men go through a lot of things, bro. And a lot of times we don't feel safe or comfortable to talk about it. But if I'm able to be that open space, that safe house for you to talk about things you're going through, and I'm able to help you with whatever that is, man, that goes a long way for me, and that shows me that I'm doing right. Born in the Crenshaw district, home of the Marathon store, home of Nipsey, where he grew up, doing a lot of great things around here. His message spoke to me a lot. You know, one thing that I got from him was, he said the biggest human act is to inspire. Once I heard that, that made me look at stuff differently. Like, okay, if that's the biggest human act in life, to inspire, what can I do as a person? Me as Mikey, what can I do to inspire? So I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? I could inspire the youth. Why did I choose the youth? Well, because I feel like I could relate to the youth the most, because my experiences when I was young, I know I can make a difference while they grow up. This house behind me, what it means to me, I grew up here 20 years. Recently, we had to move. My dad lost his job. Everything just went downhill after that. My dad lost his job. We had to find a new place to live. We were struggling. I come from a family of 8, and having siblings like that, worried and trying to figure out, dang, like, where are we gonna live, stuff like that. I feel like I owe it to my last name to make a difference, break that generational curse, and help my family get back on their feet. Growing up, I was the problem child, man. I always felt like I was the black sheep of my family. Middle school, elementary, high school, always having bad grades, always getting in trouble, getting kicked out, missing school. My family, my parents, they didn't think they were raising me the right way. All my other siblings going to college, getting straight A's, me failing all my classes. They didn't know what to do with me. So what happened next? I got kicked out my house. Got kicked out in my high school years, didn't know what was next. My last year of high school, they told me I didn't have enough credits to graduate, so I dropped out. Dropped out for a whole year, and that whole year, I was lost. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I still reflected on my earlier years, saying like, dang, I'm still a mistake. I'm still that black sheep that everyone thinks isn't doing nothing right, that isn't gonna be nothing in life. So I thought about it. I was like, you know what, in that year of me not being in high school, let me just go back, just so I could say that I was able to graduate high school. Me going back, next thing you know, I graduated with the highest grade in my class. Last, I actually was able to give the class speech of my class at graduation.
Once Michael decides he wants something, he stays focused to get there. Next up for Michael is getting licensed in the barber room. Congratulations, Michael, you did it.
Yeah,
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michael Edior. Friends, family, teachers, admin, thank you for coming to the graduation of the 2023 seniors of OFY Charter School. I would like to say that I'm honored to have been given this opportunity to present this speech. Wow, we're finally graduating. It's finally over. So that was a big accomplishment for me because being a kid, going to high school, failing all my classes, to now being able to give the graduation speech, that meant a lot. Before barbering, I was actually working my 9-to-5 job at Shake Shack, working tireless hours, feeling lost, feeling like I didn't know what was next. I knew the plan was always one day to be my own boss, but I never thought barbering would be that. My dream was always to be an influencer. So while I was working my 9-to-5, I was doing YouTube on the side, making videos. But I noticed YouTube, it actually takes a long time to start making money from it. So I was feeling lost. I was like, I'm making all these videos, but I'm not making no money. So what career path can I take without 1, going to school for it, 2, being my own boss, and 3, being able to inspire and influence people and speak my mind. And that's when barbering came along. So I did it. During my barbering years, cutting hair, trying to get clients, it took a while for me to get clients. Once I started getting some clients, the money was there, but it wasn't. I had bills at the time. I had my car, got my first car at 18 by myself. It was a lot, bro. That car note, car insurance, I was struggling. So I knew I had to get a job that was gonna help me pay for that only bill that I had at the time. So I was working my 9-to-5, making money, and then I was doing barbering on the side, but I saw, dang, it wasn't enough because the time that I was taking away from the time I was using to do barbering instead of working on my 9-to-5, it wasn't adding up because the time that I would use to cut hair, during those times, I wasn't getting no clients. During that time, I was trying to find clients. So that was time that I was making no money, just trying to find clients. So I had to think like, dang, I need money. So that's when I found another job. It got to a point I was working 2 jobs. I was working at Shake Shack and I was working at the airport. The schedule was crazy though. At the airport, I was working from 3 in the morning all the way to 11 a.m. Then I would go to the shop 11:30 a.m. all the way probably until like 4:30 p.m. Then from Shake Shack, I worked from 5 all the way to 10. So that was crazy. That was my whole day. So I got home probably like, it took like 20 minutes for me to get home. So from like 11, 12, 1, 2, and then 3, I work at 3 at the airport. I was only sleeping for 4 hours. That was crazy. So eventually it got to a point I was draining myself. I felt mentally exhausted, physically exhausted. I knew I had to make a change. But that's the thing with barbering, like it's a sacrifice. You have to be patient. It's a marathon. You gotta understand that good things take time. So that's what I did. I struggled for a little bit. I quit the airport job, but I kept the Shake Shack job. Why did I keep that job? Well, because at that job, even though I hated that job so much, it taught me one thing. It taught me hospitality. It's not about what you're selling, it's about the service you're providing that brings people back. So if I could learn that from my 9-to-5 job and incorporate it with my barbering skills, my barbering job, that could bring so much value to the new clients that comes to me and also me as a person. So that's why I decided to keep both and manage both at the same time. Growing up, religious, as a Christian man, you've seen everything that's going around in your area. I grew up, I had gangbanger friends, I had scammer friends. Growing up, you're seeing that fast money. You're fascinated with it. Like, dang, like, I want to get into that. Like, what I'm doing is slow money. I'm not getting as much as what I'm seeing, how much I'm seeing that they're getting. So I want to get into that. But I feel like it was my morals growing up in a Christian household that changed my mental from that state of mind. Realizing that it's okay to be on my own pace. It's okay to not have the fast life, because fast money isn't always good money. And that's what I had to keep reminding myself. And also too, I had to keep reminding myself that God will not reward me for living a lifestyle like that that's not in his type of way. So I had to realize that it's okay if I'm going slow. It's okay if I'm on the slower route, because at the end of the day, God's gonna bless me 1,000 times more because I'm doing it the right way. So I feel like me growing up in a Christian household that benefited and helped my life so much. I feel like my biggest message to people as well who are trying to do whatever they want to do in life is to not give up. Be true to yourself. People want to tell you you can't do something because they can't do it themselves. With whatever you're doing in life, you just gotta have faith, bro. Persevere, endure, realize that everything's a marathon. It's finna come. You just have to be patient. It's a waiting game at the end of the day. It's about how bad you want it. And you gotta truly want it for yourself. If you don't want it, it's not gonna work out. You gotta want it for you. But at the end of the day, your why gotta be bigger. If your why doesn't make you cry, what really is your why? You gotta have a reason for why you go so hard, who you do it for. Man, being a kid with bad grades and just being the bad kid in school from elementary all the way to high school, I never would have thought that I would be in the position that I'm in now. Why? Because growing up, everyone always thought that I would end up homeless, end up as a nobody. I won't have any influence on anyone because how I was acting, I was bad. I was failing all my classes. They didn't think I could be somebody, but that shows you never judge a book by its cover. This was my first ever business card that I had. Starting off, I had to advertise myself, so I had all my old cuts with this business card. Recently, my girl got me a revised business card. Looks more professional with my new cards, with new faces and a QR code. But to this day, still pass out the old business cards. Why? Because I don't want people to judge me based off a cover. I want the people who give me a chance, not the people who like what they see. I want the people who aren't gonna judge me based off the cover. That's the clients that I wanna keep. I don't want the people who look at the cover, oh, he cuts nice, I wanna go to him. I want the people who's willing to take a chance on me. The people who's willing to take a chance on you, that's the people that you wanna stick by living life. So take a chance at life. Don't be scared to take risks. You have one life. That's how the story goes.
Pull up in motorcades. I got a show today. It's all I'm trying to do. Hustle and motivate. Choppers a throwaway. Hustle the overweight. That's why they follow me, huh? They think I know the way. Cause I took control of things. Ballin' the solo way. And if you pattern my trend, I make you my protege.